Hello guys, welcome to this lecture. So today we will see how is the architecture of Log4j. Log4j API allows a layered structure where each layer provides different objects to perform different tasks. So there are different layers. This layered architecture makes the design flexible and easy to extend in future. So there are two types of objects available with Log4j framework. One is core objects and the next is support objects. The core objects are mandatory objects of the framework. They are required to use the framework. Whereas support objects, these are optional objects and they support core objects to perform additional but important tasks. So what are core objects? As we have previously discussed, like there are logger, layout, appender, so on. So we will see what in detail what are these. Core objects include logger object. This is the top layer in the logger which provides the logger object. As I said, if you are writing any class, you could call the logger on that particular class by saying logger.getLogger and followed by the class name. So it provides the logger object. The logger object is responsible for capturing logging information and they are stored in a namespace hierarchy. Then comes layout object. The layout layer provides objects which are used to format logging information in different styles. As we all know, layout is nothing but we will be formatting how we want a particular file or a particular thing to be. So it provides support to appender objects before publishing logging information. So using layout object, you could design a layout as in how a logging information should be displayed, as in you could use a timestamp, you could use what month it was, what time it was, and so on. So it provides the layout support. Layout objects play an important role in publishing logging information in a way that is human readable and reusable. Appender object. This is the lower level layer which provides appender objects. The appender object is responsible for publishing logging information to various preferred destinations, such as it could be database, it could be a file, console, etc. Then comes support objects. So as we have seen that these are optional objects, but however they provide support to the core objects in order to perform a certain work. So there are other important objects in the Log4j framework that play a vital role in the logging framework. First is the level object. The level object defines the granularity and priority of any logging information. As I mentioned, there are 7 levels of logging defined within this API: off, debug, info, error, warn, fatal, and all. So these are various levels which you could set depending upon your need. Filter object. The filter object is used to analyze logging information and make further decisions on whether that information should be logged or not. So you will keep this object as to decide later on whether you want to keep it or not, but however you would log that information. And appender objects can have several filter objects associated with them. If logging information is passed to a particular appender object, all the filter objects associated with that appender need to approve the logging information before it can be published to the attached destination. Then comes object renderer. The object renderer object is specialized in providing a string representation of different objects passed to the logging framework. This is used by layout objects to prepare the final logging information. Then log manager. The log manager object manages the logging framework. So whenever you call, as I mentioned earlier, when you're using a logger object, you would say logger.getLogger. So logger.getLogger would in turn call logmanager.getLogger, which I will show you when we are doing the practical. So this log manager is the object which manages the logging framework. It is responsible for reading the initial configuration parameters from a system-wide configuration file or a configuration class. So in the next lecture, we'll see how to configure Log4j. Thank you.